This is a 2004 Subaru Forester XT. Well, I should say this started life as a Forester. Now, there's not much original Forester left to it. It was transformed into quite the machine with many, many STI components by the boys from Gears and Gasoline. And we start under the hood with a period-correct, fully forged EJ257 turbocharged 4-cylinder boxer engine built by Andrew Tech Automotive. And it has quite the extensive list of parts. I have some notes here because there's no way I'm remembering all of this, and I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning. Let's see. Manley Performance rods and pistons, 2015 STI forged crankshaft, ACL bearings, B25 cylinder heads, VF48 turbo, Cobb downpipe, airbox intake and flex fuel kit, turbo XS catback exhaust, 2015 STI intake manifold, Grimspeed top mount intercooler, Vibrant fuel lines, Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, Injector Dynamics 1050X injectors, and a Koyo aluminum radiator. Factory, the Forester XT produces 210 horsepower and 235 foot-pounds of torque. With a list of engine mods like that, it's safe to say it's making just a few more than that. They dynoed the car back in 2019, where it produced 327 horsepower and 402 foot-pounds of torque at the flywheel. And because of all that work, it's pretty quick. It makes all the right sounds. Now that power is sent to all four wheels through a 6-speed manual from a JDM 2004 Forester STI and an R180 rear differential with an Andrew Tech Auto higher capacity diff cover. Now that engine and transmission aren't the only thing to have all the fun with the custom touches. The body is still finished in its factory Subaru Premium Silver Effect paint, but it's got a JDM front bumper, hood scoop, side skirts, rear hatch, and spoiler too. I really like how they made this thing like OEM plus. It's not too far-fetched. It doesn't look like a Subaru Forester that they bolted a bunch of aftermarket parts on that you can tell are aftermarket parts. And that whole body sits on Fortune Auto 500 coilovers with upgraded Swift springs, STI control arms, Cartboy front and rear end links, and a white line roll center kit. And down below here, the car rolls on period-correct STI BBS alloy wheels wrapped in General G-Max tires. And that hefty braking power is provided by STI Brembo brakes with 5x114 hubs off a 2006 STI. And all that means it's really fun to drive. There's really not much turbo lag at all, which I'm surprised about. And this by no means is the fastest thing in the world. It's not the quickest. but it's the perfect amount of fun, streetable power. I just don't know if I would go around racing everybody, but by yourself on some nice back roads, some sharp corners, it's hard to beat this thing, especially with it being all-wheel drive. And the ride quality as you're just putting around town isn't bad at all. It's actually nice. It's not stiff, it's not bumpy, and that's so surprising to me because the minute you introduce this thing into a corner, a sharp corner, it's like it changes, it's like it adjusts. And I recall watching Ben from Gears and Gasoline, who built this car, talk about not getting the stiffest coils that Fortune Auto has, and said that this was a nice balance, and he hit the nail on the head with that one. Now this does have a steering rack from a 2015 STI, which according to my research is regarded as one of the best steering racks that Subaru came out with. And I'd have to agree because I usually find Subaru steering to be kind of like my ex-girlfriend. Pretty dull and pretty numb. Whereas this one's nicely weighted, it's decently heavy, which I'm a fan of. The custom touches roll into the interior as well. We've got factory seats in here, but the center console, that's out of a Forester STI. And in that console is a Cobb short throw shifter, a very short throw shifter. And above that is an aftermarket Pioneer touchscreen radio with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And next to the later model STI 3-spoke steering wheel, usually is a Cobb access port, but right now it's in the glove box. But there is a Cobb access port that's included with the car. And looking through that steering wheel, we can keep an eye on everything on our JDM STI gauge cluster. That's right, this is an American spec Forester XT, yet the speedometer is in kilometers an hour. That Cobb short throw has got to be the shortest shifter I have ever used. It's tiny, it's just not even the flick of your wrist, it's the flick of your finger. I love the way they did this. They took the better parts from the better car and fit them onto this. So now you've got a car, or wagon I should say, that's got all the utility you need and the performance that you want. And I love that they actually used this thing, the guys from Gears and Gasoline that is. They drove it 10,000 miles from Florida to Alaska and back. And the craziest part about that is, it didn't blow up. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy motoring.